Good morning, everybody. So I am on a completely different device than what was expected because for some reason my Wi-Fi on my PC isn't actually working. So I've just quickly managed to get this on my phone. So hopefully you'll be able to see and hear me fine right now. So I'm Debra Gotch and I'm a life coach, NLP practitioner, and I've worked in wellness for quite some time now. And prior to that, I had a background in the beauty and spa industry, which was all very much hands-on, working with people and getting to know really what people are all about. So what I wanted to do today, because of obviously things are quite uncertain in the world, and a lot of the times that can affect our happiness and also the way we feel in the day-to-day. So basically what I wanted to do is give you some tools, some insights that was going to help you when sometimes your happiness can be affected, sometimes confidence can go, and that positive attitude that perhaps you did have can sometimes waver a little bit. So this is really talking about the self-awareness as to how you are feeling, what you are thinking, and are those things actually serving you, and having the self-awareness to then think, actually, no, they're not, I can change them. And then a few of the different things that you can do to actually change those things as well. So how does our self-awareness actually affect happiness? Well, for a start, we need to know what makes us happy, what sometimes makes us angry, what sometimes makes us very sad, etc. And it's getting to know us, that person, that inner being inside, that is really the one that is going to take a hit on whatever is happening to you, whether that's a good thing or not so good thing. And it's being able to recognize those signs within you when you're not feeling as good. Just like you want to know them when you are feeling great, because you want more of that, right? So what I would really like to just point out initially is that when we are looking at self-awareness, we have things that are external to us, so also things that basically we respond in certain ways. So what we do through our awareness or not our awareness is going to imprint on other people. It has a ripple effect, doesn't it? This is where we see different communication problems with people, because they can be thinking, feeling one thing and have an intention to have a conversation which goes completely the opposite way to the intention, because they're maybe not aware of how they're coming across to the other person, or they're not aware that that other person is actually relaying this information really differently to how it's been put over from you. So we need to become aware of those things, and we can do that by being able to recognize certain things that we're doing and really having that almost like self-check on ourselves, in that given moment. So being a bit more present, and we hear a lot about mindfulness now. So mindfulness is great to be able to center you to the moment of what you're in, and the easiest way to do that is to be able to have that stillness within you, to create that calm, and to do that in a way where you may be slowing the breath down and just literally having that deep belly breath, just being able to relax, actually not breathing from the upper cavities but to the lower abdomen, where we're just starting to relax into it, and just do a few of those, 5 or 10 I would say, and then that just literally brings you more to the moment. And then that way you can then make decisions and really check in with yourself. Is this something I want to do? Is it making me feel uncomfortable? Or yes, I absolutely really want to do this. So it's all about, being able to have that check-in with self at any given time. And it's just being able to notice when you need to do it so that you can change things if you need to. So basically happiness is a state of being. So a lot of people say, well, I'll be happy when I get that new job. I'll be happy when I have that fantastic house. I'll be happy when I get a pay rise. And a lot of the time that happiness is something that people chase, when really it's a falsehood, because happiness is actually within us. It's a state that we can create, and it's something that I would say is really powerful when you know how to be able to do this, is because you can control it. Whereas if your happiness is given or directed by somebody else, whether that's a person and your expectation of them doing something that will make you happy, then it's always surrendering control to everything that's external. And we don't want to do that, because that can create anxiety, because then we always think, well, is that going to happen? And then you can start to worry about it and really it starts to become a bigger thing than it should be, really. So I would say, like being able to have that own power of yourself to be able to control your happiness factor, then that is a really great thing, and you can practice it just like going to the gym where you practice to get strong biceps, then basically you can do the same. You can practice that muscle to help create that happiness for you by doing things that make you happy. And again, this is coming from your self-awareness as well. So in terms of self-awareness and being able to check in with self, I want to say one of the key things about this is listening and hearing your own self-talk. So this is that little voice inside your mind that will either go, yes, I love that, I think you're amazing, you look awesome in that outfit, yes, of course you can do this, or it can just be completely flipped over and say, who do you think you are? Are you trying to do that? Really? Seriously, you can't do that. You're rubbish at that. You look terrible today. And we all have that voice and that negative self-talk and positive self-talk. And it's being able to recognize that. So I know through my coaching practice, many people don't actually realize this is going on. They just feel like it's part of them. And unfortunately, it isn't. It is who what's going on inside you. And basically what we can do is help to quieten the voice if it tends to be something that is negative and not going to make us feel good. I'm so sorry, I'm going to just go take that off. It's my daughter's school. I've just hung up, and I'll go in a different room just in case they actually try and ring back, and then you won't hear me again. The likes and loves of being at home, working at home. I've got actually workmen in as well, my house, so if you see anything, then basically it's all good, but it's all getting worked upon in here. So I will carry on with my self-talk and being able to give you some guidance on that. So what I'd say is, like, when you are doing any given thing, if you get a certain feeling initially that doesn't feel good, or just really like a checking in with self where something doesn't feel quite right, we always have that gut instinct, don't we, as well? Just really notice what your actually inner voice is saying. So is it something that is conflicted within you, and you need to then look at it a little bit further? Because a lot of the time what we can do is just do things for the sake of it because it's a habit, it's a routine, and we dismiss that little inner voice and that voice of wisdom inside that basically is trying to say to you, like, you need to be a bit more aware about this. That doesn't feel quite right, and it does it in that feeling in the body rather than the thoughts behind it. So know when you need to maybe like investigate that a little bit more. And with this in mind as well, what you can do at home, and I'd really recommend this, is over the next 3 days, start to do your own little journal of self-awareness. Now, this can be where you are actually maybe getting up in the morning. What's your emotional state? What's that self-talk that's going on for you? Are you leaping out of bed, feeling amazing, can't wait to reach the new day? Or are you then just basically getting out, like hitting the snooze button and thinking, oh, I don't even want to face the world today? So where are you at? I'd love to know where you're at as well. So if you wanted to comment, then please do. So yeah, and then if your mood does actually shift and change, then what are you doing next to help to create that shift and change? So again, it's checking in with self, being aware of how you're feeling, and also that story that you're telling yourself. So any thoughts that we have at all become a story, and is that story serving you or disserving you? Because again, awareness will allow you to be able to change it. So for 3 days, do the diary, and when you notice different things that are going on, both positive and negative for you, and you think, yeah, I just thought that to myself, then just write it down and notice what is happening with it. Is there things that you're saying, especially with the negative side, because they're the things that we really want to change? Is it the same kind of phrases the same sentences that are saying? You know, is it something to do with your confidence? Is it something to do with somebody else? You know, so it just really check in and get to learn and see what that is, and see if there's any patterns, because there often is. We are creatures of habit, and often when we've started a story, because of how our brain works, it creates neural pathways which basically allow that thought to easily come again and again and again and get reinforced. Even our minds don't tend to question it unless we put really conscious thought into it to then actively change it, which is what you're doing with this exercise. You're actively looking for things that potentially could be changed if they're not feeling good for you and they're not really giving you any value or making you happy, on doing the opposite, in fact actually creating a lot of unhappiness. So we need to know about those. And 3 days, do that, and also notice when you're doing that as an exercise, what kind of voice is saying it in that inner self-talk? Is it your own voice? Or is it actually somebody you know? Or somebody that is just like a made-up character inside your head? Either, you know, like criticizing you or scolding you, or, you know, like belittling, because that is often the things that it would do. And when you notice the positive voice, is that your voice or somebody else's? You know, so, and, you know, is that more of a voice of love? Because again, the more you get aware of this, the more you can see it, and if you need to change it, you can. So also what I want you to think about, I already mentioned just a moment ago, people. So we all have people in our lives where we think, yes, we have to be around those people, and they're not maybe people that we make us feel good, or somehow we react differently towards them and we don't really want to spend that time, but you really need to. And again, notice any feelings that are uncomfortable to you, and think about ways of how you can then change that situation, whether it's seeing less of that person, whether it's maybe building your confidence to say something that you want to get off your chest to them, you know, but in a nice diplomatic way what makes you feel good, because you've done it in a healthy way where it's still honouring that relationship. And really just really think about those feelings that you are experiencing and what you can then do about them, making that situation better, because that's what we want to do. We can't always control our situations, circumstances, people in our lives, etc., all these external things going on, but we can control how we respond to it and how we think and feel towards it, and what our actions thereafter end up becoming as well. So there's a few different things there in terms of different tools. And also think about another area of self-awareness is your home, your environment. So thinking about, you know, looking around here at the moment, it's chaos upstairs because of all the work that's getting done. But think about your own home. Is that a place of like a haven, a place to relax? And even if not the whole house is that way, is there one area in that house, whether it's a bedroom or a small corner or whatever, that allows you to feel that place of feeling centered, feeling happy, feeling good, you know, just feeling at peace within self, which is really, really important. And if you haven't got that, how can you then start to create that? What do you need to do to change that environment to make it more welcoming, more comfortable, where it feels good? Is it candles? Is it maybe artwork, things that are positive, those lovely little quote pictures, you know, a scent, you know, certain things that you can burn as well are really good, and that affects our emotions and mood. Or even just like some fluffy cushions. Women love cushions. I know I do. So all of these things are really good to be able to put into action and to actually make and change these things. Also think about your clothing. So with your awareness of clothing, do certain things make you feel good, and other things where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I've just put that on, or it just doesn't feel right. So then have that self-awareness of being able to know and make the right choices for you, things that make you feel good. And I think really about, you know, like your whole life, self-awareness as to what you want out of life. Because a lot of the time people just coast, they just do each day, get up, do the grind, and then go to bed, you know, and in between they've had the food, interacted with a few people, etc. And then there isn't much thought about it. So what you can do is create more of what you do want, And when was the last time that you really had a big belly laugh? Are you aware of that? You know, what made you laugh? Do more of those things. Go to places and that bring out joy and fun. And I know it's quite challenging right now, but what I found is really useful, even though I know I'm not physically there. I have some amazing videos with beautiful music that I watch on YouTube just first thing in the morning. And as we know from our miracle mornings, by doing and setting the day up correctly, it really impacts the rest of the day. And as I'm doing my breakfast and everything else in the kitchen, I have on my laptop this gorgeous image of this beautiful scenery, and it's just amazing, along with this gorgeous music as well. And that just lifts my spirits. And even though I know I'm not there, and I could be sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I can't even be there, can I? Can't travel anywhere. You know, and my mood could be completely different, and I could stop myself feeling that way, just like you can, if that's kind of that typical reaction would be. But if it's not, and you then think, well, actually, yeah, you know, things are temporary right now, and they will shift, they will change, and all these things are still there. You know, they're out there, and look how beautiful that is, because that will have a really good emotional response to you as well. Similarly, like if you're looking at a really nice photograph of the family, and you're able to see everybody smiling, laughing together, etc., really good fun times, then again, take the pleasure from that. Don't have the you know, like the look of it and just think, well, what am I missing out on? And I know that's easy to do, and it's far easier to say, you know, to do this the other way than it is to put into practice. But I assure you, if you really consciously focus on more of the positive and being able to really look for the things, and you do have to look for them. There's always two sides of anything, isn't there? There's duality, good and bad, positive, negative, etc. And it's always looking for the good. And if you help program your mind to seeing the good and looking for it in the first place, then you'll feel far better. And this is having this self-awareness again. So typically we can fall into habits where we only see the side that is not going to feel good to us, but there's always that other flip side as well. And I really want to encourage you to be able to put into practice that and to really change things if that's not your normal go-to right now. So I hope all those things have been helpful to you, raising that sense of self-awareness, knowing what your values are as well, knowing what you stand up for and what you fight for and what you believe in, what's so important to you, and being able to honour those values. So having that awareness initially will help you protect those values, and those are a key thing to, again, your happiness. So happiness, if your values are crossed by somebody, then unfortunately, you know, it does, you know, make you feel not so good, and can imprint on your positive mental attitude. So definitely get to know what your values are. Create a plan to what you want in terms of your lifestyle, and it doesn't have to be right now. You know, it could be that projected forward in like 5 years' time. How would you want to move towards your life? What would excite you? What would make you really happy? And, you know, what really would enrich everything for you right now? And then just look at how you can just take small steps towards making that happen, because each day you can actually have a great impact that over time will lead up to a very big monumental change and shift within you. So I do welcome any questions. If there's anything at all that you would want to discuss, chat, give a comment about, then just let me know and I will do my best to answer anything for you. And yeah, just reach out. We're here for everybody, and have an awesome day. Focusing on the positive, being more self-aware, and enjoying it and directing yourself to being happier. Bye for everybody. Bye.